Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Free American. Running about a minute behind. Blog Talk had an issue or something hung up on me, but I've got my guest online today, Paul Topete, the leader, creator of the band Poker Face, and the promoter and running the show called Freedompalooza again this year. Hello, Paul. How are you? Whoa, hang on a minute. What did I do here? Did I lose you, Paul, here? Let me bring you back up then. We're having a little bit of problem here. Let me see if I can get Paul back up. Now it says merging calls. All right, Paul, now do I have you?
Yep.
Okay. Just either my phone or Blog Talk screwing up a little bit, but I've made the introduction and I got you on the line and we're on Blog Talk. Tell me about Freedompalooza this year. Then we'll backtrack and we'll cover Poker Face and the new baby that you got in the house and all the other stuff. But let's talk about Freedompalooza because that's most important. That's coming up here in just a few days.
That's right, brother. Freedompalooza. You can find out all the details at freedom, Palooza.com. Freedompalooza.com is where you'll find out July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, who's speaking, who's playing. First will be all music, a lot of good local bands. And then Sunday and Monday is going to be speaker band, speaker act, speaker band. And it goes all the way to Monday, 10 p.m., starts Saturday at noon. So it's 3 days of entertainment, great bonfires and camping, and it's a great place for people to get their truth on, meet some great patriots, great place to make friendships for life, and it's turning into a cool little party festival for Father's Day.
Now, will the atmosphere be a little different this year now that we got Obama out of the way and we got Trump in there?
Definitely. The fact that we got Trump in was a miracle. I can't wait until Sessions starts turning his attention on dealing with the Black Crimes Matter groups and the Antifa twats and all those idiots out there that are communists, hate this country, hate anything white to the right, conservative. And I don't know, man. I think it's time to play Cowboys versus commies, man, and just get it done with. Because these assholes are screwing this country up and blocking anything good to happen for Trump. And under Obama, they got away with it. So I'm expecting under Trump that these assholes go to jail or go to FEMA camps, man, and get re-educated, or let's ship them back to country of origin.
Well, Trump, I've got a lot of hopes. I promoted him. He attended and spoke at the last Rolling Thunder in Washington.
Nice.
Talked to all the bikers, and he said all the right things. He makes me a little nervous because of his son-in-law.
The kosher Krishna crime family, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, might be just, me being a little superstitious about anybody that's got an address as 666 Fifth Avenue, that worries me a little bit.
Good, man.
But again, we'll wait and see. The fact that the media gave him such a hard time should be a real eye-opener for a lot of these people that are sitting there on the fence. And, of course, the media is controlled. He hasn't addressed that. He's just politely ignoring it. But
he's doing us the service by calling them fake news, man, tabloid news, prostitutes, because that's what they are. Every single one of them out there pretty much is shilling not for America. So, Trump, to make America great again, you can't be bending over for Israel, man, okay? It's just bottom line.
I think we're coming up again on the anniversary of the USS Liberty, and hopefully you'll have some people up there that'll be talking about it. Tell me about who are the people going to be talking? Who are you going to have speaking at Freedompalooza this year? I know ADL, Southern Poverty Law, who've been attacking me for 20 years. I know, I'm sure they've already warning people about Freedompalooza and doing their best to discourage anybody with half a brain from attending.
Yeah, but you know what? They did a big push in 2013. They got pussy patriots like Larry Pratt from Gun Owners of America and Sheriff Dick Mack and who was the other one? Jewett Rhodes from Oath Queefers. They got all these pussy patriots to bow down on the altar of Holocaustianity. They're supposedly big Second Amendment folks, man, but when it comes to the First Amendment, they're big white-ass pussies, man. We, Poker Face and you, we support and defend all of the constitutional rights. See, that's what sets us apart, because we don't bend over. We don't stop talking about the problems that really face America. We have a parasite problem in this country, and like all these refugees that keep coming to this country, we need to return the sender, but we need to return all these back to Borodzaban, the homeland that was set up for them by Stalin. We need to get them out of the Middle East so that there's peace in the Middle East. And they have the homeland to go to. It's the size of Switzerland. And they speak Yiddish there. It's supposedly beautiful there, so go there. Let's have real solution to these problems. And transporting them to their real homeland in Borodzaban, I think, would do wonders for this planet.
Well, they have a homeland. It's called Khazaria. It was called Khazaria. I think they call it right now. It's right over there by the Black Sea. And, of course, they're playing their games there in Kyiv. The Ukraine was their ancestral home of Khazaria, wasn't it? And they're playing their games there too, aren't they?
Yeah, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, Armenia, that whole area, you know, around the Caucasus Mountains. Yeah, they were called the Snake People, and it took a Ukrainian prince to come down in 968 AD and destroy that evil kingdom. And that's why I think, you know, 1,000 years later, with their never forgive, never forget bullshit, that they basically set them up for the genocide that murdered 20 to 30 million of them back in the 20s and 30s. So, I mean, this is how sick of a social psychopathic tribe these people are. They're not a race. There are 3 different tribes that, you know, worship a devil's book. Yeah, man, this is the problem of the world, and we need to address it. And when you cannot talk about them, it shows you who is in power.
Said that. It's pretty incredible. The whole Holocaust. Somebody was asking me about the Holocaust. I said it never happened.
The white Holocaust of the 20th century of 265 million did happen. And I don't hear nary a word about it. All I keep hearing is 79,000 work camp deaths. And that gets blown up with accounting methods up to 6 million. Why not 6 trillion, 6 billion, 600 million, man? Let's use that number. I mean, it's just as ludicrous as the other one.
That whole 6 million figure first appeared about
1918?
1918. Oh, yeah. There's 6 million at risk in the Ukraine. They used the 6 million figure in the Ukraine to raise money the same way they're used. It's one of the things that really bother me. They know that the ADL, of course, they don't account for how much they raised, but I know they raised a few million using me as the bad guy. Oh, Clay Douglas started the militias. He started the militias. What part of the Second Amendment don't you understand, you ignorant motherfuckers?
Well, they're not Americans, man. That's the fucking problem. And we got to kick these fuckers out because they're just, dude, they're eating the body Americana, man. They're parasite upon the host body, man.
Is the state that you're in, you sing about Poker Face has songs about cannabis. And I'm going to start, I'm not even going to use the term marijuana anymore because it's propaganda that was created by William Randolph Hearst, among others.
And Salinger.
And Anslinger. But we have made progress. I mean, I wrote a novel 45 years ago, almost 50 now, about the legalization when we got a president in this country that legalized hemp abolished victimless crimes, closed down the prisons in 46 states, except for 4 states where they kept the same kind of laws that they have today in most states. And I'm going to republish, now that Trump's in there, I'm going to publish those novels. I wrote them as science fiction, couldn't even get them published because nobody would buy into it, nobody would believe them. Are you still there? Did I lose you? I think I lost him. Hang on a second. Back up. Got a conference call back up. We lost Blog Talk the first time. Lost you that time. Brand new phone though, so.
Hey man, we rate.
By the way, the chat room, I got that up, and I had nobody in the chat room when you came up, and had half a dozen people in the chat room, and then suddenly, when I didn't bring them up and started talking to you, suddenly they all just went away. All the callers, would-be callers, just went away. Good riddance. Good riddance. And
no loss there, brother.
Oh, my audience, Blog Talk's kind of strange here. I just went to another screen here, and I see you're in the chat room.
I don't even know how I'm in the chat room.
And there's a lot of people in there. I just wasn't looking at.
I don't know how I'm in the chat room. I'm not on anything right now, so it's not me.
How do you differentiate between the real and the fake? Use a brain if you got it, you ignorant son of a bitches. Yeah, I think we need to drain that swamp. Let's get rid of this one for sure. Get rid of the Jew-cree there. Remember what they say about assume there. That makes an ass out of you and me. One of those hundreds of millions that needs to be convinced of what? Okay. Now I got it. Now I found out where everybody's gone to there. Okay. Chat room's working. Phones are working. And I'll keep an eye on it. If they disconnect us, I'll just hook us right back up again.
Thank you, man.
You know, we are making headway. Like I said, I wrote this book about marijuana being legal, and it was too far out for even science fiction magazines to publish. But we got over almost half the country now where you can go and get a joint without going to jail.
About time, but it still needs a lot to go, man.
Won't work for me. I was excited about Arizona. I was living in Arizona. I was excited about, I said, wow, for the first time in 45 years, folks, I may not be a criminal. But didn't work. I couldn't get medical marijuana, Paul, because I didn't have a doctor. And
well, you know
my statement, why would I need a doctor to give me, why would I pay a doctor to give me a prescription for something God gave me? Why would I do that? And I didn't need a doctor because I've been smoking marijuana, cannabis. I've been using cannabis for 45 years. I still got my appendix. I still got my tonsils. And I got all my brain cells hitting on all 8 cylinders. And I don't need a doctor. And that's why.
Because you're getting your daily cannabinoids. My new term is called cannabinoid deficiency. And most of us in America, in this world, are cannabinoid deficient. And the medical death cartel system are so sick that they basically test us for our jobs to make sure that we don't get our cannabinoids in us. And Clay, we got to stop calling it medical. It's not medical. It's nutrition. It's no different than vitamin C, okay? Vitamin THC is what our bodies need. And if we say medicine, then it puts it under the purview of the FDA, and we don't need those assholes involved in anything. So here's my plan for the healthcare debacle that we have going on. First, insurance companies need to get the fuck out of the business because all they do is suck all of it out. Next, hospitals need to pare down to basically trauma centers because they're into businesses that they shouldn't be into. They're into diabetes, they're into cancer, they're into mental health, they're into overweight. All those things can be taken care of just by a daily dose of your daily cannabinoids. And because we don't get them, we have degenerative diseases like the ones I just listed, and many, many more. Crohn's. I don't investigate it. Go to buddy Rick Simpson's site, his phoenixtears.ca. Learn to make yourself and heal yourself. What's going to happen is once we pay the farmers to grow hundreds of millions, billions of dollars worth of this high-grade THC, we won't need the medical death cartel. They will lose trillions like they should be instead of sucking every last dollar out of our pocket. Killing people with chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery is no different than witch doctors, okay? Look, they killed my grandmother back in the 60s the same way they killed my aunt 2 years ago. They haven't changed anything, okay? They're still killing people with the same chemo, which says, please wear gloves, will cause cancer. So it always amazes me how something that causes cancer is going to cure your cancer. It just does not make sense. So got to stop listening to your witch doctors and start to look into your health because you are the one that's responsible for it, not the doctor, you.
My mother and grandmother were drug addicts. They went to the doctor every week or so and sat in that waiting room. I sit in the waiting room and read Time magazine or something. And they'd go to the pharmacy, pick up their prescription, and lay around the house.
Yeah. They'll bet on some SSRI or some other, I don't know, some other pharmaceutical drug, you know?
My mother went for a heart operation, I guess. I came back, drove back from Arizona, and she was just a blithering idiot. She couldn't talk. I went to the doctor and I said, what's wrong with her? Well, we just keep her sedated. And I said, well, you're not keeping her sedated anymore. I'm taking her out of here. And I took her out of here. Took her out of there, put her in a little retirement home a few miles from my house. She got better. Never quite got to be 100% because she never give up her pain medication.
Mother's little helper?
Yep. And they had a whole little wing of these patients they were medicating like that. And it's I just couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it. I think she was as old as I am now. She's that's what they do. They just medicate you and medicate you and medicate you, and your insurance is paying for it all.
Right. That's why insurance has got to go, man. All it does is enrich, and the murderous bastards want every last shekel of us while they put us through misery through the treatments that they give us, like chemotherapy, and radiation. Dude, that is so sick. And yet, you know, we keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So.
Part of the milking of America. And I haven't been following. I probably should by following, but it just almost makes me ill watching the Congress. How much are we paying these ignorant son of a bitches to get up there and argue about Medicaid, or we're going to improve Obamacare with something the same way that enriches the insurance company, enriches the doctors?
Yeah, brother. Congress does not work for us. And they're fighting Trump at every step. You know, time to get rid of them all. And then
I went through the presidential race of way back with Charles Collins.
Was that 96, 2000?
Yep, 96, I believe it was. And every time Charles got up to talk on the stage, the cameras turned off. They turned the cameras off, pointed them at the ground, and went out and took a smoke break.
Yeah, scumbags, man.
So how can you elect somebody when the media won't tell you who's running?
Well, after this last selection process, I think all the broadcasters need to have their licenses rescinded because they've had abuse of the people's airwaves. They fomented riots and looting. They have fomented a false narrative where the Black Crimes Matter crazies are feel justified for killing cops. They're going to have to wait when dum-dums. The cops are killing all of us because they're going to Israel to get trained on how to treat all of us like Palestinians. And the cops are killing whites 3 times as much as blacks, so please. It's not a racist thing, you idiots. It's an anti-American thing. It's an anti-freedom thing. So stop listening to the George Soros types and either become American or, you need to listen to old great black leaders like Marcus Garvey and go the fuck back to Africa, man, because America's for Americans. I don't care what color you are. I'm not going to call you hyphen if you're going to be American. No African Americans, no Mexican Americans, no gay Americans, just Americans. When you hyphenize yourselves, you create yourself as a minority. And minorityism is a cancer in this country, okay? So either assimilate and be American, call your kids American names, or leave. Or if you keep shit up and you then we will end it.
It's the oldest maxim in warfare, Paul. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
And I've been subjected to it my whole life. I'm a biker. Well, let's see, when you're riding a Harley at 70 miles an hour and your tire blows, you better be wearing a little bit of leather. That's the reason we wear the leather. And, it's really not about race. I've told people, one of my favorite stories, when you try to call me a racist, approached by a big, muscular black football player, I guess, or weightlifter, up in a penthouse up in Miami Beach. How do you feel about us black folks? And I looked him in the eye and reached out and slapped him on a muscular shoulder. I said, well, I got to be straight with you, brother. I don't like niggers, white or black. Got back up off the floor. He said, well, you might be all right. And I said, yeah, you might be all right. I just wouldn't come under me like that anymore.
Yeah, brother. I have several cool American black friends, and one of them being J.J. Johnson. He was a brother at school.
It's I don't know. I have been doing this probably about 25 years now. Militia started this radio show, and I find myself asking Paul, exactly who am I doing this for?
Good question. I ask myself that many times.
Yeah, look at this chat room we got here. You got one All City Radio. Has some people asking who's contributed. Well, All City, you hadn't contributed anything. Rabbi Ted, I don't know your phone number. I don't know who the fuck you are. But he's been listening. He ain't been an asshole. All City, you've been an asshole. So I'm tired of all of you. Shut the fuck up and listen to, well, you're an asshole anyway. You guys shut up and listen to the show. You're distracting me. I came back in here and looked at the room and you were doing nothing but fucking arguing. Next one that says anything negative, I'm kicking ass. Got it? Okay. Again, let's go back to this Freedompalooza. Who's doing some of these speakers? And that you brought up something that kind of hit a nerve. I had Richard back on my show many times. Thought that was a good sign that we got a sheriff that was actually speaking up to it. Larry Pratt's been on my show many times. Thought he was defending our stuff in June and defending ourselves in Washington. Probably doing more than the National Rifle Association.
Yeah, but they're both pathetic. But go ahead. Yeah,
well, what's happened to her? And the one leader that we had, our senator that they sent to jail, our representative there.
Representative Topete, the only one that was worthy.
I just have a senior moment here. Turned 71, all of a sudden I got a senior moment. But from Ohio, our senator from Ohio.
Yeah. It was James Topete, brother. He spoke 4 years in a row at Freedompalooza until they murdered him.
And I had him on my show. 2 weeks later, he was dead. They killed him. Well, somebody killed him. I don't believe he pulled in his barn and ran over himself with his tractor.
That was all bullshit.
I will take a call here, since most of the trolls got out of the way. Let's see who we got from 954. Who do we have? Your name, where you are, and then you can tell me what's on your mind. 954.
Hey, Clay, it's Tom from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thanks for taking my call.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Good. I was a big fan of Jim Traficant. He was a very brave man, I first met him at a seminar. I wanted to go to Freedompalooza the first year he spoke, but was not able to attend. I did see him, however, at a seminar for the Rabbinical Marijuana Association of North America, and he was a major proponent of the prison industrial Jewish complex, and that's when I first became very much a fan of his work.
He was a good man.
Yeah, he really did a lot for the gay community, for the illegalization of marijuana. The prison industrial complex owes him a great amount of respect. And Clay, I just wondered, is there a possibility that I'll see you at the rabbinical marijuana session against the Mary Jane?
Fuck no. And I don't believe what you're saying, Paul.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Go ahead, Paul.
I got nothing to say to this dude.
What's that?
I got nothing to say to him.
Clay, you would be welcomed with open arms.
You're lying through your fucking...
The gay community.
You're lying through your fucking teeth. You're nothing but
Clay,
a goddamn... Clay,
you're a troll, Clay. You're a troll.
You're an asshole. Goodbye. So much for taking a call. You're a fucking troll. Travis never did anything like that. You're a goddamn liar. Take one call here, left out of the mass trolls that call it, and you get one lying goddamn Jew. I don't know. They ought to give it up. I'm never going to endorse the gay community. I know they're your lying scumbags. And maybe I had one guy ask me, why do they have big noses? And I think I really, he might have answered his question himself, because they were said to have larger brain capacities. But
I'm a little more biblical. I look at it like, since the sea lion Cain, they have the Nephilim Raphian, genome in them. So like when one of them mixes with the human, well, the bridge of the nose is where they come together. So it's always effed up, man. So what happens when your daddy's Cain, man, and that's your lineage. It's a sad one. It's a dark one, evil one. And that's what the community in the United States does here is, they eat our substance out. And our forefathers were wise to tell us to not allow them into public offices and to hold offices of high esteem because they denigrate it. They bring it down to the lowest base. That's what they do, man. It's in their genes. It's in their genome. They can't help themselves. They're born into the darkness, and very few ever come to light. Like very few Benjamin Friedmans out there.
Recently, I've been looking back to the War of the Worlds, long before the Bible, and I think maybe it might be the results of the archonic infestation of America. They go back to the epic of Gilgamesh and before these churches. It's interesting. Every now and then I'll go into a church. There's only one that I like, and that's with Pastor Jake Wade, the Timothy Bible College, long time. But he points out that almost every church you go into has got a Masonic cornerstone.
Yeah, always something in the details.
You are providing the one venue, as I tried to do with my Free American Expos I had in Atlanta, that I had in Dallas. Of every civilization was the self-sufficient family farm. And when you really think about it, this whole Monsanto...
Yeah, go ahead.
It is the foundation of every civilization. And I tell people, if you grow your own food and generate your own power, from the wind to the sun, the water, you don't need a government to protect you, to take care of you. And if we could just do that, we could block by block, if we could just organize and think a little bit outside the box, We could organize a neighborhood park, use our backyards, use our garages to build magnetic generators, wind generators, solar panels, generator on, put the kids to work in the gardens. We could really, I believe, if we were capable of organizing.
Well, brother, there's something that's working already, boycotts. I want to create the boycott party. So, like, we need to BDS everything that we know that is kosher agenda, anti-American, like the movie industries. Let's BDS it. Boycott, divest, and sanction, because all they do is create filth. Banking industry, healthcare, anything that they steal our shekels from us, we need to starve. And the faster that we could starve them by keeping all of our money at home or invested into local producers of food or local people that do, fix things around your home. With any new purchases, no big purchases. Keep your shekels at home, man. Put yourself into debt. The Jewseries, how they control you. You're not a free man. And boycott.
They're scared of that.
Right. So let's push it.
They've tried to organize the boycotts against Israel. They're scared to death of that.
Right. It's working. That's why. We just need to do more of it.
I think part of it is they are dumbing us down. She talked about that, how the schools are dumbing us down.
Communism core? Sure.
And the chemtrails, I still run across people that don't believe that there's anything wrong with the chemtrails. Oh, it's just contrails. No, it's not. And all the evidence is out there. How can people not believe that they're spraying us for something?
Well, brother, you can't reach stupid, man. And, all you have to do is look above and see the difference between commercial airliners that don't leave any trail versus the C-130s that are leaving trail after trail after trailer. Nobody asked them to do this. Nobody asked if we wanted scientists who believe in global warming bullshit to push geoengineering. David Keith is the lead clown on that shit. So it's easy to find the culprits, man. And the other thing, when anything happens worldwide on a global event, instead of giving the pass until they definitely did it, we need to assume that they did it until proven otherwise, because you'll probably be correct 99% of the time. And you won't waste any time investigating because you know what to look for.
Case of Jewish lightning. And I pointed out, if building number 7 fell on the same day and Larry Silverstein got up and by now, me and the fire department made the decision to pull building number 7. There'd already been so much loss of life. Well, if you pull building number 7, 11, you had to have explosive planted in it before. And if you had explosive planted in that one, what are the odds that you had explosive planted in the other two?
Well, look at London, the town that burned this past week or past month. The whole thing was engulfed, and yet it stood. The fire burned so hot, that's why 7 came down. No, it's called controlled demolitions, idiots. Fuck, I called it the first day.
Yep. And they tried to kill me over that one. They tried to kill me over that one, Paul.
Well, they killed Hour of the Time. Who is that, brother? Hour of the Time. Yeah, they sent out the sheriff out in Arizona to kill him. William Cooper. Another great American.
Yeah, Bill and I had just talked about putting our magazines together and working together.
Oh, they couldn't have that, man.
And that was the same, I guess that was the same phone that they used to tap mine and arrange that accident. When that accident failed to kill me, May 20th, 2004, rushed me to the hospital and kept me drugged for 3 months for 3 broken ribs. $750,000 hospital bill for 3 broken ribs.
That's crazy, man. It's crazy. No, that's when they tried to whack you, man. Run you over.
Yeah. The 2 rules for staying alive now. Every phone I use is tapped, and every one of the 4-wheelers trying to kill me. The trolls are probably lining up here, and I know they got to be, but we'll try a call here. We'll try a call so you can hear these. 418, who are you? I keep searching through these callers to see if anybody's got a modicum of intelligence. Who are you, 418? What do you got to say to Paul Topete?
Hello, this is Levi. It's so great to speak to you, Clay, and to your guest. How are you gentlemen doing?
You're Levi?
I am Levi, yes. I am so excited about Freedompalooza. It sounds so wonderful.
Okay. Where are you, Levi?
I have a question for your guest. Will there be a kosher food tent at Freedompalooza for people with certain dietary restrictions?
Yeah, no, not really, man. I'm telling people to bring their own food, so you have to take care of that yourself. Be responsible. Be an American.
Oh, you should have a kosher food tent for people like me who have dietary restrictions.
Well, I don't have an interest in feeding anybody, so you feed yourself, you take care of it.
I hope the tents will be air-conditioned because I can't be out in the hot sun for too long. I get heat stroke. If you could make those quick accommodations for me and my family, I'm bringing my entire family from Babylon, New York.
Cool. You can talk to my Iranian buddy. Talk to him all day long, man. He'll school you. It'll be great.
We can't wait to meet you, Clay Douglas. I am such a fan of yours.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit. I'm not eager to meet you. Go to hell. And this is a pretty regular troll here, 310 Los Angeles. This number comes into a nest of trolls, Jewish trolls, by the way.
Yeah, Jewish, not American. There's a difference.
Who are you, 310? What do
Can
you
you
want?
hear me?
I can hear you.
Had to get my cannabinoid today. I was actually calling to speak with Paul. You touched upon the 9/11 attacks. Now, are you familiar with the 10th of September and all the events that happened before the planes hit, such as Rumsfeld?
Yeah, what was it, Dovzakheim, or was it Rumsfeld that said that they just lost $3.2 trillion? Yeah, I remember that.
$3 trillion missing from the Pentagon, and then strangely the next morning, the Pentagon was hitting the exact location where the budget analysis were trying to track down the missing money, killing all the analysis and destroying all the records. I mean, hello, coincidence? And FEMA arrives in New York the night before the attacks on September 10th. There was an interview with Tom Kenny claiming that he mistook the arrival date in refuting his interview with Dan Rather on September 12th, which is another strange. Afghanistan war plans on Bush's desk, September 10th. I mean, these could be accusations, but I believe they're somewhat truth. Now, strangely enough, the papers the day before even had they were planning. They knew that they had to put this many papers out at this time. They were planning for some kind of huge event, but no one really knew what the event was. I mean, all these kind of things, Paul, kind of lead me to believe that this was an inside job.
How about an outside job, man? How about 9/11 was done by Israel and it's Shabbos Goy's here?
And Dovzakheim is the Pentagon comptroller who also had a little side business building remote control devices for airplanes.
Yeah, W's who I call Mega, man.
I think.
All right, bud, you can hang him up.
Okay, thanks for your call. Said something that made sense. Go ahead. But for you guys that are calling in with the block numbers, I just delete you immediately. I will not take a call from block numbers, and nothing wrong with my phone. Goodbye.
9/11 Truth Video is the controlled demolitions I saw on Headline Lies for top of the hour, 15th of the hour, and bottom of the hour, and then you never saw the every other floor, the flashes going off just ahead of the collapse of the building. And I think I had 30 people in my living room at that time because it was my birthday, and I was pointing out the flashes going off. Look, it's controlled demolitions going down. And I've never heard anybody talk about it in interviews. I've never seen any video. So we need to scour the old tapes if they still exist and show these flashes going off. It wasn't every floor, it was every other floor. And that's what the Israeli art students that were living in the buildings were busy planting.
I never had a TV, so.
I still had cable at the time. I had CNN on the Headline Lies version of it.
All right, we'll take a 613 area code and for you stupid son of a bitch that's got the block number, I'm just kicking you and hanging up on you every time you come up, so. 613, who are you? Where are you?
Hello, gentlemen.
What
This is Jack. I'm calling from Miami Beach. I attended Freedompalooza maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And I have to tell all the listening audience at the Clay Douglas Show that it is just such a swell time. I was in a tent with Clay Douglas where he ran a train on.
Just another fucking fag there trying to put out lies here, trying to, another homosexual, a gay geezer there trying to put out lies. I won't allow it on my show. 732, you're on with Paul Topete. We're talking about Freedompalooza. 732.
Hey, I think you got disconnected last time. I was going on furthermore to the point on September 10th. There were some strange bells sounding over the U.S. Stock trading. And according to CBS News, in the afternoon before the attack, there were actually alarm bells sounding over unusual trading on the U.S. stock options markets. And it's been documented that the CIA and the Mossad and many other
were they the put options? Hey, you're going to talk to me. It's going to be a conversation. Were these the put options you're talking about on the American Airlines and United?
Yes, actually. Yep, it was the imminent attacks against the American and United airplanes. I mean, could it have been coincidence that this happened? What do you, like, Paul, you know what I mean?
Look, I look at that as being CIA low-level operatives trying to make out on the deal. The government made billions, and the Jewish bankers made trillions, so everybody got a cut, man.
No, you're right, Paul. And strangely enough, from my research, the Pentagon officials even canceled their flights on September 10th. They were warned, I guess, not to fly on that morning. According to a Newsweek report on September 13th, the state of alert had been high enough during the past 2 weeks, and a particularly urgent warning may have been received the night before the attacks. I mean, so this, like you said, probably was an outside job.
Well, the other thing was, didn't Satan Yahoo
continue, Paul? Sorry. No,
I said, wasn't Satan Yahoo complaining about somebody in our government calling Israel a Marxist, racist state, and then all of a sudden no longer hearing about that? And then Satan Yahoo comes back and says, 9/11 was very good for Israel. It was good. Well, bad for America, but good for us.
It's like he caught himself in the lie and had to cover up.
Well, Rumsfeld said that the Pentagon was hit by a missile, and then he started talking planes. So, yeah, I mean, so somehow the truth does get blurted out at inconvenient times.
No, you're right. And I think you're also right. I think everybody will remember where they were on that morning that happened. You were in a room of 30 people. I was in a class. I was finishing up an exam. I mean, I think we all, as Americans, will remember what happened that day. I'm enjoying your information, and I'll keep listening to you and Clay.
All right, bro. Thank you. Hey, right. Okay, I'm gonna do something here. This dumb motherfucker got a block number, but I'm gonna let you talk to Paul. Say hello to Paul. What's your name? And if you give me any shit at all, I'll kill you again. I'll never let you on. You dumb son of a bitch. Why do you block your number?
Hi, Paul. This is John from Ontario. My number is not blocked. It's working perfectly fine. I'm wondering why you keep on kicking me off.
Because your number's blocked, you dumb son of a bitch.
Can I ask Paul a question?
Speak up. You're muffled.
Paul, what do you think about the Federal Reserve unwinding quantitative easing?
How about we start with Greenspan allowing derivatives to exist and creating this whole gambling market that is so huge in the hundreds of trillions of dollars that we haven't even begun to suffer the consequences of. That's all in Greenspan's hands, man. Why is every...
They're not even treated like an insurance policy. You know, these like AIG for all those mortgage-backed obligation derivatives in case they defaulted. AIG didn't have to actually put any money aside for that, you know? They said, oh, we're going to sell you this policy, and we're just going to pocket all the money and not put any aside. It's fucking retarded, you know? It's like, was that able to happen?
Well, you're answering your own questions. There are certain powers in this country that aren't American that decide for the rest of us how we're going to eat, shit, and live, man. And I want an American country run by Americans for the best of Americans, not for the best of any parasitic group. Look, I'm half Mexican. I got a problem with illegals coming here. Why? Because they devalue the wage level for everybody, not just us here in America, but for the Mexicans that still live in Mexico. Because if they're going to get paid less up here, they're going to get paid less down there. Okay? But I'm talking Mexicans all day long.
Regarding immigration, do you feel the same way about getting the brightest minds over to the United States? Do you feel like we should attract people with PhDs to come over instead of, hanging out in Israel or Europe? Do you think we should have the smartest people working for us here in the United States? Or do you think that's the same issue with immigration?
If we have a need for them, man. But right now I know that the HB1 visa is so abused. We have corporations that say, no Americans need to apply. I mean, that's bullshit. So, yeah, we have an immigration problem, not just a legal.
It's freaking ridiculous where most of those are for mid-level skilled wage workers, and they nearly all go to India, and they're for outsourcing companies that use Google and all these big tech companies. Google uses them, so they act like they're just getting the high-skilled workers and aren't abusing the system. We didn't realize their reliance on it until recently. We thought, all these third parties are just using the H-1B system. And then we're like, so Google just subcontracts to them, and Google gets all the benefits from this cheap labor instead of paying Americans a decent wage.
And that's the problem, brother. We don't need $15 an hour wage because all that's going to do is put a lot of businesses out of business. We need.
Did you see the article?
We just need to stop allowing the system to be.
So there was an article in Bloomberg yesterday that said when Seattle it just had the second tier of its I think they're raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And they're doing it in tiers.
Right.
So they just bumped it from $11 an hour to $13 an hour. And what we found out is that for each dollar they made in addition to the wages, they worked less hours. So even though they made more money per hour, the employers backed off the number of hours they worked, so it ended up being a washout. But when it goes up to 15,
okay, and now companies like Wendy's and McDonald's and all the fast foods are going to start replacing most of those workers with the computer screens and with robots. Mm-hmm. So like, hey, yay, you got the $15 an hour wage, but all you did was screw everybody else. Thank you. I mean, this is short-sighted thinking of the demon rats, man.
Well, don't you know what's happening? Like when you combine a low interest rate environment with a high minimum wage, that means companies can borrow very cheaply, and that means that it's very attractive to create these robotic investments that eliminate these low wage workers.
Exactly.
Do you think that's potentially part of the Jewish plan to kill out the lower?
Oh, brother, if you want to know the Jewish plan, then look, read the protocols, man. They say that it's a forgery. They don't say it's a fraud. And what it is the 1890s Zionists forged it from the 1830s from France. So if you want to know the playbook, read that, and then you'll know everything they're doing now. Okay.
Okay.
That's right. The protocols. What's a forgery? Oh yeah, it's an exact copy of the original. It's not important who wrote it. It's important is who is using it against us now. Listen, thanks for your call.
If you could summarize those in 30 seconds, could you do that? Because I am a relatively new viewer and I'm not familiar with it. And I think some of the other viewers would benefit from that type of summary. Like a 30-second summary of the program. I'm just saying, like, I'm a relatively new
okay,
viewer.
real quick. Real quick. It's control of everything. Communications, money, commerce, anything that you have to day-to-day life, programming you, like controlling your schools and what you see, controlling your pop culture from what you see in the movies, so that they can shape you and shape your mind. They're mind benders. Instead of taking you the good that is natural, they create okay, this is what TechSmart said, really, really. So what the Jew does is he takes what's normal, like sex, XX and XY, and then bastardizes it, creates 50 shades of mental illness, and then owns it by making you the outcast because they control the media, they control what's allowed to be seen and heard, so they make you look like the idiot because you're trying to explain things and because it's normal, and then they make the new special entitlement class, anything that they say is golden. They can say anything that they want, any perversion, any decadence, any stupidity, and it's accepted as norm because the Jewish media pushes it. So that's how they control, because they shape what you're allowed and cannot say. Okay? That's how they took over the Tea Party.
Now, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely do appreciate that. That definitely sheds a lot of light. So they control everything we see and hear so they can shape our views and beliefs.
I used to tell people when I helped start the militia over there in New Mexico, I tell people the best way to get started here, you take your weapon out clean it, load it, and shoot the TV, and you'll be a lot better off.
I can definitely agree with that. People can't digest
All right, sir.
information anymore.
Thank you for your call.
Have a good one.
You too. Block number that actually had some intelligence. 613, you're on with Paul Topete, Clay Douglas. Who are you, where are you, and what's on your mind? 613, yes. I have a simple question. What's your name? Where are you?
Lose him.
Instead of simple questions, if you don't answer, I'll just hang up on you.
Just hang up.
Hang up. Pretty bad, Paul, when they can't even say hello.
Well, it wasn't meant to say hello. It was just meant to interrupt your show, man.
918, who are you? Where are you?
Hello, this is the real Clay Douglas.
That's not even like a good approximation of you, Clay. That's
There's
bad.
only one Clay Douglas, you ignorant son of a bitches. And 915, looks like he's called in before. 915, identify yourself. Tell me where you are.
Hello?
Yeah, hello.
All right. Hey, Clay.
I know my name. I ask you yours.
Hey, I'm really disappointed with you, man. Yesterday playing that Carlin shit. You fucking Jew. You're not a real American.
Fuck you. Oh, another
Hello,
LA.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your name? What are you? You're on with Paul Topete and Clay Douglas. This is a real fucking talk show. Try to behave yourself and identify yourself.
My name is Siegel. I'm calling to speak with, I guess, the two of you. My question
What's your name
just
again?
one question. Siegel. My question
Siegel.
is, how closely are the Zionist Jews working with the globalist commie Jews? Are they working together? Do they have legit disagreements and different goals, or are they the same, one in the same?
They're one and the same when it comes to the rest of the Goyim, but right now Israel's pretty close to a civil war in itself, man. Yeah, the right and the left start seeing eye to eye, saying Yahu's about to go down for fraud charges. Sheldon Adelson has distanced himself from him. So yeah, not all good going in Israel these days.
They seem to try to distance themselves, but in reality, they're under the same blanket, is what you're saying.
Well, they're united when it's them against us, and that's how they keep everybody in line by creating this. Everybody is out to kill the Jews. Nobody wants to kill the Jews, dude. I just want them to control the things that are affecting our lives in a negative manner. Okay, so when they start screaming that, they're trying to collect new shekels for the ADL and the SPLC and other groups like that. And
they control everything, like you say, show a business. They control the porn industry. All of this bullshit you see, like you said it just plain and
organ
straight.
trafficking.
You said it right when you say they control. They make the depravity and they own the depravity. They say what's good, what's bad. It's like that fucking guy. That thing become woman of the year. This man becomes woman of the year. This disgusts me.
Hey man, dude, you can believe whatever the hell you want. You believe you're a horse, you identify with a horse. Doesn't mean you're a horse, man. You know, you have this lady that married a train station. You know, people are sick in the head. There's a lot of mental illness going on in this country, in this world. Okay, SSRIs are not helping that. People need their cannabinoids, man.
And 20, 30 years ago, you know, this would not be pushed into media. You would not hear about these people because they were hidden away in homes, and they were shock therapy to heal them. Things such as this. Now it's just in your face.
Yeah, they got YouTube pages and Facebook pages and all this other social media to share their insanity, man. Hey, doesn't mean I have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, you're too right, Paul. Okay, man. Well, you two have a good day.
All right.
Yeah, you got a wide variety of callers there, buddy.
yeah, they're still lined up here. 734. Who are you? Where are you?
Michigan.
Hey, how you doing,
what?
Clay? This is Ricky. I'm calling from Tennessee.
Hi, Ricky. I won't hold that against you. You're the only other T state out there. So tell us what's on your mind.
Well, first off, I'd like to wish you a happy birthday, Clay.
Well, thank you, Ricky.
And I was also wondering, you still got that penis pump for sale?
Fuck no, I don't have anything for sale. And
Man, don't got any.
Don't say anything. I got Paul Topete on the line. You got anything to say to him, or I'll hang up on you right now.
South motherfucker. I'll fuck you up, buddy.
You won't. Goodbye. 613. Who are you? Where are you? I'm Paul Topete.
but I'll keep calling 'cause you take it over by show. I am the real Clay Douglas, and you...
Fuck you.
They're not even good, man. They're not even good approximations.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, we had this Caitlyn Jenner thing. I've got people calling up. It was Caitlyn Jenner. First of all, it's Bruce Jenner. I won't call him her. I won't call him. But does he have something to do with Area 51? No. He's mentally ill. He's a mentally ill guy with a wig on. Jesus Christ. What is with, and he don't have anything to do with flying saucers. Nobody picked him up and stole his dick. I don't know. It's like, why would anybody be even fascinated with this idiot?
Dude, he was with the Kardashians, man. That's enough to go you mentally insane, you know? The Bollywood whores, pushing the misogynation, pushing the porn, pushing everything that is debased. That's why they're on TV, television.
I got to admit something. I don't think I've ever even seen a Kardashian. I don't even know what they're about. I don't even know what it is. I don't watch TV. I don't have a TV.
You're not missing anything, Clay. It's just pop culture programming. That's all they are.
I go to bed listening to music. Got a timer. It cuts off. It's strange. Again, Paul, I get back to the question. Who am I doing this for? You know, am I trying to preserve this country for a bunch of fucking perverts? But
no, I was fighting for, God, country, family, culture, borders, language. I mean, that's what our fight is, man. And dude, I speak two languages fluently. I'm part of two cultures. I love both cultures. I'm not the one that's trying to make the whole world one color, one language, one religion. That's not me. I'm into diversity. I think everybody should, be happy with themselves. I don't know. It's look, you want me to see you colorblind? Stop calling yourself a hyphen, okay? When I see you as an American, then you treat me with respect just like I treat you. I could care less if you're a demon rat or Republican, or if you're black or white, if you're a Jew or Christian, because you're acting like an American. That means we have certain values that we uphold and we treat with respect. Right now, we have a communist left that wants nothing to do with America, hates everything white and to the right, and that's the problem. And right now, we on the right side have been very patient, waiting for the law enforcement community to do their job. When you have violent thugs that are rioting and looting in the streets, that are going up to, not their rallies, but other people's rallies and trying to foment violence, those people need to go to jail. Like the douchebag professor out on the left coast that used the bike lock to pound some Trump supporter. Dude, that dude should lose his fucking teaching position, should go to jail for a long time, and all the assholes that were along there with him thinking that that's okay to do. They're the most intelligent fucks I've ever met in my life, man.
As I've told people, I had one woman get on my case. Well, I don't care who your grandmother slept with. All I care about is what's going on today. I don't care. It's not matter. I mean, I'm Caucasian. I'm a Texan, and I'm proud of being a Texan. But, so is the Hispanic neighbor over here. Texan too. My friend.
The left doesn't want to be American. Dude, they don't. They want to be globalists. Okay? So, hey, you want to be globalist? There's hundreds of countries around the world that love that shit. Not America. And like I said, if we have to have a throwdown, then it's going to be quick and ugly. And the left is not going to like what happens when we wake up pissed off and mad and focused. And that awakening is happening. So keep the shit on, man. It's going to come back very ugly.
Even the mainstream media is showing what's happening over in Europe. We've got thousands of Muslims, black or Arab, I don't guess it matters much, but they're marching into Germany, they're marching into Sweden to get there, and then they're coming in and raping and stealing. And you want to see America's future? There it is, folks. On mainstream TV, they're just not telling you that the same thing is happening here. Go up there to Michigan, you got one whole town that's been taken over by the Muslims. The future is right here, and it's right before your eyes. If you don't do something, the Muslims are organizing. Why aren't white people? That's one of the things that always bothers me. I watched the newspapers and the television stations try to demonize the Aryan nations, Aryan movements. Well, if you could join Black Lives Matter, if you could join the ADL, why can't I join the Aryan nations? We got a proud history as Aryan. Germans got a proud history as Aryans. Why does that make me a racist for being proud of who I am? Why does it make me a racist by being proud of being a long, tall Texan?
Because the kosherites fear an awakened white majority, brother. So they keep beating us down. They keep selling us white guilt. They keep selling us weak white pussies, manginas and man buns and anything. And plus, they're vaccinating our kids so they fuck them up right out the womb, man. So, like, if you have children and you're going to have children, do yourselves a favor. Please do not vaccinate your children, because all you're doing is poisoning them with heavy metals and a toxic slew of who knows what the fuck is in it.
I wouldn't allow my children to be vaccinated. So I got 2 healthy sons. I got 2 healthy granddaughters. Nothing wrong with them. And I caught every disease you could possibly catch. Had measles, mumps, chicken pox, whatever it was, I had it. And guess what? I don't get sick today. I've been to 7 or 8 countries. There were a few countries down there that I didn't see any border signs. They didn't put them up in the jungles I was in. I didn't get sick. I just don't get sick because my immune system got built up as a kid. All those kids with vaccinations.
The natural way, man.
Yep. And then smoking all that pot for 45 years, built up.
You're getting your daily cannabinoids, man. That's why.
Yep.
You know what's crazy, man, is at the end of the 1800s, a lot of evil started with the amassing of blood-stained, stolen fortunes by certain kosherites. And apart from starting to control the papers in the 1890s, I just lost my train of thought. Go on. I'll come back. Oh, no. Okay, I got it. In the 1890s was when the petrochemical industry started coming onto the scene. And that's when Rockefeller and a few others decided that they're going to push cannabinoids or the snake oil. And our new medicines, they're the real medicine, even though it's just all snake oil. And the real medicine or the real health, the cannabinoids, they basically outlawed because it would compete against every one of their businesses that they would then create to basically keep us sick, the symptoms, and never getting to the root cause of any illness. And if you know anything about my band, my life, everything, we always seek solutions. And we have a lot of solutions to a lot of what ails this country. But America's not ready for somebody like me yet, but Trump is a step in the right direction. If it ever comes to the point that I were to get elected to this country, man, this country would rock again. And the JWO would definitely be destroyed, man, on my watch.
It would. Again, I wrote novels about that 45 years ago. They need to be updated, which is my plans for the rest of this year. I have to make some changes because my offices and my novels had IBM Selectric typewriters in them. They didn't make computers when I wrote them.
Exactly. Hey, brother, I got to get going, man. I wanted to thank you for having me up and letting folks know about the party. Freedompalooza.com for everything, who's speaking, how to get there.
What's that? Send that over to me on my Skype, and I'll put it up under the show here.
Okay.
Or send me an email with the Freedompalooza JPEG, and I'll get that up on my site.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. I sure enjoyed it, Paul. All the better.
Always
Thank
pleasure.
you.
All right, bye-bye.